Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Easy English Podcast with Emily and Michael.
Hey guys, we're really happy to have you here with us today.
We hope you're doing well.
And today we're talking about something very human, very useful, and honestly, not always easy.
Yes. Today we're talking about learning to be more patient.
Which is a very real topic.
Very real.
Because most people want patience.
Yes.
But many people do not want the situations that teach patience.
That is such a good point.
It's true though.
Very true.
So maybe we should start with a simple question. What does patience mean to you?
For me, patience means staying calm when life is not moving as fast as I want.
That's a really beautiful answer.
Thank you.
I think for me, patience means not fighting every delay, every slow moment, and every imperfect step.
Wow. Yes.
I think many people imagine patience as something very soft and easy.
Yes.
But in real life, patience can feel very hard.
Definitely. Because patience usually appears when something is not happening the way we want.
Exactly.
Waiting, delays, slow progress, other people, mistakes, all of that.
Yes, patience sounds nice in theory.
But in practice, it often arrives with frustration.
That's such a good way to say it.
I think so too.
Do you think you are a patient person?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Honest answer.
Always.
Same.
I think I can be patient in some situations.
Like what?
With other people, sometimes.
That makes sense.
Or with quiet daily things.
Yes.
But I can be less patient when I really want something to happen and it is taking too long.
That is very relatable.
What about you?
I think I can be patient in calm everyday life.
Yes.
But I become less patient when I feel blocked.
That's a very good word.
If something is moving too slowly, or if there is too much waiting, I feel it quickly.
I understand that. I think one reason patience is hard is that modern life makes people used to speed.
Definitely.
Fast messages, fast answers, fast videos, fast delivery, fast everything.
Exactly.
So when something takes time, it suddenly feels wrong.
That is such an important point. I think people are losing some comfort with slow processes.
Yes. And many important things in life are slow.
Very slow.
Healing is slow.
Trust is slow.
Growth is slow.
Learning is slow.
Change is slow too.
Exactly.
I think that's why patience matters so much.
Definitely. Do you think patience is more about waiting or more about attitude?
That's a really good question.
Thank you.
I think it's both.
Makes sense.
Waiting is often part of it. Yes. But I think the deeper part is how you are inside while you wait.
Wow. Yes.
Two people can wait for the same thing.
Right.
One becomes tense, angry, and exhausted.
And the other stays calmer.
Exactly.
That's such a good point.
I think patience is not only time.
It's also emotional energy.
Yes, that's exactly it.
I also think people often confuse patience with doing nothing.
That's a very important point.
Because patience does not always mean passivity.
No, not at all.
Sometimes patience means you are doing the right things, but accepting that results still need time.
That is such a beautiful definition. I really believe that too.
Me too.
I think patience is especially hard when emotions are involved.
Definitely.
Waiting for a reply.
Waiting for news.
Waiting for change.
Waiting for someone to understand you.
Exactly.
I think emotional waiting is one of the hardest kinds.
Yes, because the mind keeps moving even when life is standing still.
Wow, that's such a good sentence.
Thank you.
It's true, though.
Very true.
I think impatience often comes from wanting relief,
That makes sense.
not only wanting the result,
Right.
but wanting the uncomfortable feeling to end.
Yes, that's such a good point.
Waiting can feel uncomfortable.
Definitely.
Slow progress can feel uncomfortable too.
And uncertainty can feel very uncomfortable.
Exactly.
So, people don't only want speed.
They also want relief from not knowing.
I think that's very true. Do you think patience gets easier with age?
Sometimes, yes.
Same.
I think some people become more patient because life teaches them that not everything can be rushed.
Yes.
You can rush your mourning, but not healing.
Right.
You can rush a message, but not trust.
Exactly.
Life teaches that some things move in their own time.
I completely agree, but I also think some people stay impatient because modern life keeps feeding that feeling.
That's true too.
So I don't think age automatically fixes it.
No, not automatically.
I think awareness helps more.
Definitely. I also think patience becomes easier when people stop expecting life to move in a perfect straight line.
That is such a good point. Because impatience often comes from a hidden picture.
What kind of picture?
The picture that progress should be clear, fast, and steady.
Yes.
But real life is usually slower and messier than that.
Exactly.
Sometimes, nothing seems to happen for a while.
Then, suddenly, something shifts.
Yes, or the shift is happening, but very quietly.
That's such an important point.
I think people often lose patience because they cannot see the progress clearly.
Definitely.
If growth is invisible, it's easy to feel like nothing is working.
Very true. I think that happens a lot with personal change.
Yes,
Someone may be becoming stronger, calmer, wiser.
but because it's not loud, they think nothing is changing.
Exactly.
I think patience needs trust.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
In what way?
I mean trust, that some things can still be real, even if they are slow.
Wow. Yes,
Trust that quiet progress is still progress.
I really love that.
Me too.
Do you think patience is harder with yourself or with other people?
That depends.
Fair answer.
I think many people are more patient with others than with themselves.
Yes, that happens a lot,
They can understand someone else's slow process.
but not their own.
Exactly.
They say, take your time. It's okay. You're learning.
Yes,
But for themselves, they say, why am I not there yet?
that's so true. I think self-patience is one of the hardest things
Definitely.
because it touches expectations, self-image, and comparison.
Exactly.
If someone thinks they should already be different, patience becomes difficult.
Very difficult. I think people become very impatient with themselves when they want quick inner change.
Yes,
Like, I want to stop overthinking now.
right.
I want to heal now.
I want to become calm now.
I want to trust myself now.
Exactly.
But inner change usually doesn't move like that,
No, it's much slower.
and often more quiet.
Yes, I think patience with yourself means not making the process harder with extra pressure.
That is such an important sentence.
I really believe that.
Me too. Let's talk about everyday patience,
Good idea.
because not all patience is about big life themes.
Definitely not.
Sometimes it's traffic,
Yes,
Long lines.
Slow people in front of you.
Bad timing.
Technology not working.
Waiting for a train.
Waiting for someone who is late.
Exactly.
I think these little situations show people a lot about themselves.
That's a good point.
Because patience sounds big and deep.
But often it is tested in very ordinary moments.
Exactly.
The supermarket line.
The waiting room.
The late bus.
The slow computer.
That is very real.
I think small moments matter because they build the tone of daily life.
Definitely.
If you fight every small delay, life starts feeling much heavier.
That is such a good point.
Not because delays are fun,
No.
but because constant inner resistance is exhausting.
Exactly. I think patience is not about loving delays.
Definitely not.
It's about not letting every delay destroy your peace.
Wow. Yes. That's such a strong definition.
Thank you.
I think it's very true, though. I also think patience is connected to how much pressure a person is already carrying.
That makes a lot of sense.
If someone is already overwhelmed, even a small delay can feel huge.
Yes.
But if someone has more space inside, patience often comes more easily.
Definitely. So maybe patience is not only a personality thing. It is also an energy thing.
Exactly.
If I am tired, hungry, rushed, and overstimulated, I am less patient.
Same.
I think many people are not bad at patience.
They are just overloaded.
That is such an important point.
I think so too. Do you think patience can be practiced?
Yes, definitely.
Me too.
I don't think people become patient only by thinking about patience.
Right.
I think they become more patient by noticing themselves in real moments.
Yes. That matters a lot.
A delayed train, a slow answer, a long process, a difficult person.
Exactly.
Those are the places where patience becomes real.
I think one part of practice is slowing the reaction.
That's a very good one.
Not reacting to everything immediately.
Yes.
Not building a big emotional story in the first second.
Exactly.
Just pausing a little.
I really like that.
I think pauses protect patience.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
It feels very true. I also think patience becomes easier when people stop expecting every season of life to look dramatic and exciting.
Yes,
Some seasons are slower.
definitely.
Some are more quiet.
Some are more repetitive.
Exactly.
And that doesn't always mean something is wrong.
That is such an important point.
I think many people become impatient because they think slow means bad.
Wow. Yes.
But slow can also mean natural.
Very true.
A plant grows slowly.
Trust grows slowly.
Recovery grows slowly.
Learning grows slowly too.
Exactly. I think one of the biggest shifts is when people stop asking, why is this taking so long?
And ask what instead?
What is this season asking from me?
Wow. That is such a good question.
I think it changes the feeling completely.
Me too. Because then patience becomes more active and more meaningful.
Exactly. By the way, if you enjoy listening to Simple English with us, don't forget to subscribe to Easy English Podcast with Emily and Michael.
And if you think this episode can help a friend with English, feel free to share it with them.
We'd really appreciate that.
Okay, let's keep going.
Let's talk about what actually helps when someone wants to be more patient.
Good idea.
What helps you most?
Remembering that speed does not always create better results.
That's a very good point.
Sometimes rushing only creates more mistakes, more tension, and more frustration.
Definitely.
So I try to remember that forcing life is not always the answer.
I really like that. What helps me is making the moments smaller.
What do you mean?
If I think this whole situation is too slow, I feel worse.
Yes.
But if I think, okay, what is needed in this one moment, then I feel calmer.
That makes sense.
One breath, one small step, one normal action.
That is very good.
I also think it helps to notice when impatience is really about fear.
That's such an important point.
Sometimes we say, I'm impatient.
But under that, there is worry.
Exactly.
Worry that nothing will change.
Worry that you are too late.
Worry that you are wasting time.
Yes. And if you understand that, the feeling becomes clearer.
Definitely.
Then you can be kinder to yourself too.
I agree. I think another helpful thing is respecting small progress more.
Definitely.
Because when people only respect big results, they lose patience quickly.
That's so true.
But if you can notice small movement, patience becomes easier.
Yes, a little calmer, a little clearer, a little stronger. All of that matters.
Exactly.
I think patience is easier when people stop treating life like a race all the time.
Wow. Yes.
Not everything is a race.
No.
Some things need time, repetition, and quiet effort.
Definitely. So if someone listening says, I want to be more patient, but I get frustrated very fast, what would you say?
I would say first, don't judge yourself too quickly.
That's a very good answer.
Impatience is human,
Yes.
especially when you are tired, stressed, or carrying a lot.
Exactly.
What would you say?
I would say, look at what is under the impatience.
I like that.
Is it fear, pressure, exhaustion, comparison, too much expectation?
That's very helpful.
Because impatience is often not only about the delay itself.
Exactly. I would also say this. Practice patience in small daily moments.
That's very important.
The line, the slow bus, the waiting room, the late reply. Those moments matter.
Definitely.
Because that is where patience becomes a real skill.
Not only a nice idea.
Exactly.
So what is one thing you want to remember about patience?
That slow does not always mean wrong.
That's beautiful.
What about you?
That not every delay needs to become an inner fight.
I love that.
Me too.
So maybe the message of this episode is simple.
Patience is not about loving slow moments.
It's about staying a little calmer inside them.
Some of the most important things in life take time.
And learning to be more patient can make daily life much lighter.
Exactly.
So that was our conversation about learning to be more patient.
Thanks for spending this time with us on Easy English Podcast with Emily and Michael.
If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe to the channel and share it with a friend who is learning English too.
We'd really appreciate that.
Wishing you a peaceful day, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Bye, everyone.